Biscuits and Blurays podcast, where we watch Blu-rays and the biscuit can't wait to meet you. Animatronic family. I think that's from FNAF.
Okay.
I think it's from FNAF.
Okay.
We're your hosts, the newlywed hosts.
Yay!
We done it. We did the thing.
We did the thing.
Jade and James, by the way.
Yes.
We're the Hallams now.
We are the Hellams.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. And when we went about this wedding business, we were going, oh, okay, what's the last film we're going to watch before we get married? And it turned out to be Corpse Bride.
Well, for you, it wasn't for me.
No, in that case, tell a lie, because I watched Toy Story the morning of.
Did you actually?
Yeah,
you kept that quiet.
I was just on in the background. But the first film that we've watched together since being married is Five Nights at Freddy's.
But tell everybody, what is the first film you've watched since being married?
Terrifier 3.
Right.
I went into that expecting a Terrifier movie, and I fell asleep for about 10 minutes.
During the Santa scene of all things.
Well, that's tricky, because he's dressed as Santa most of the time.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
The mole scene.
The mall scene, yeah. I fell asleep. It was okay.
That just shows what kind of a human you are.
And here's the thing: I like a bit of blood and guts on show, and it's weird to me that we watched Five Nights at Freddy's now, and there's just none of that.
I'm saying to you, this is a really good gateway horror
for idiots.
No, not for idiots. This knows who it's marketed for.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's is a video game.
It is.
Have you played the video game?
I haven't.
Me neither. And this is a problem, because I know for a fact we have a lot of close friends that know everything about this.
Yeah, there's already about 4 I can think of that know all the inside lore to it.
Yeah.
They're really invested with all the story. I feel bad that I don't know it, and I am a little bit interested.
You don't play video games when I ask you to.
I know, but I like something that's spooky.
Okay. So we've done our research.
We've done some research, guys, so please don't come in at us.
The problem is there's a lot of lore. These games have been going since 2004. That rhymes.
Has it?
I don't know. 2014. They've been going
I want to say 14.
Yeah, it's been going for a while. But there's a lot of lore to look over, which some of it's sunk in for us, but not all of it.
No, and I think it's going to be really hard to know everything if we're just watching this.
Yeah, as movie fans.
In the here and now, for the podcast,
yeah,
we're not going to know everything, so
if you are
please be kind.
If you are here for a Five Nights at Freddy's lore analysis,
you're not going to get it.
It ain't here. I'm sorry, it's not. But
we're just reviewing the movie that we watched.
On face value, we went to see it last year, and you've been asking for this for a while because you thought that'll do well.
Yeah, I thought this is something that people have asked me about. Like when you're doing Five Nights.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. I think we should.
They asked us that last year around Halloween, because we saw it around that sort of time.
Yeah, we saw it in November, didn't we? Before our show.
Yes, we did, because I remember going to talk about it with everyone.
Yeah, we saw it in the middle of the day, in the week. And I remember there just being loads of really, young people watching it.
There were some kids in there.
Yeah.
I think the cinema was a bit like...
it was a bit lax, wasn't it?
Just go in, just make the numbers up. I wouldn't let that stand.
No, you were a stickler for the rules, weren't you?
I still am, always. Put your phones away, and if you're not 15, get out of this 15 movie.
You've got to wait.
Yeah, just wait till you're old enough. Sorry, no sneaking in. I'm not that guy. But I've not played any of the video games either.
No.
And I think you said, why haven't you played?
Yeah, because bear in mind you've played Resident Evil.
Yes.
Which is a very jump-scary kind of game.
Yes.
Why would you have not watched this, which doesn't seem quite as brutal?
Okay. So, Resident Evil, I played the first one first.
Well done. Hey!
I went to find the music on it. I started at the very beginning. No, I played the first one, and that one's not so jump-scary, apart from the dogs in the window.
Okay.
And then I took a break from it, because I'm a coward. And then I went back into it with Village. No, with number 2, but the remaster of. So I was sort of like, okay, it's similar. It's not as jump scary. The only one that is jump scary is number 7? Number 6. No, 7, which is Biohazard, which I haven't played because it is full of jump scares.
But for example, you've also played the Alien games as well. Aren't they quite scary?
I had to trade in my Alien Isolation when I first played it because I got too scared.
Oh, you coward. And I hear you are watching Terrifier 3 by yourself.
The problem is, though, I didn't get anywhere in the game. Like, I hadn't encountered the alien.
And you just played the menu?
It was... no, but it was creepy. And I'm a sucker for suspense.
Yeah.
So suspense is, I find, scary. And, quiet for ages and then boo. I don't like. Blood, guts and gore all day long.
You weird person.
I am who I am. That's fine. But that's the reason I've not played Five Nights, because I know for a fact that it is just a lot of waiting around and then...
Whoa, there they are.
Yeah, exactly. But I know how it plays. Mm-hmm. You play the security guard and you look after all the screens and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's all I know about that.
Yeah. That's about as much as I knew originally coming in. So kind of going back to when we first watched it last year. Mm-hmm. Straight away from the intro of the film, I knew what was going on.
If I remember correctly, you were excited about it, though.
Yeah, I was, because I thought it looked really interesting.
Why?
I don't know, and I said this to you at the end of this film.
Just now?
Yeah. There's something about this speaks to the nostalgia within me.
Explain.
So, I was born in 91. Yay! So, people around that age, or before...
Were you alive when Freddie Mercury was still alive?
I think he died that year.
He probably died that day.
Shut up.
An eye for an eye.
Don't wish that upon
I'm
me.
just saying.
So I remember the McDonald's of the past. I remember the kids' parties. I remember the mascots dressing up and it being a big thing. A lot of because we didn't have phones or anything like that, you did have colouring pages and they used to stick all that shit all over the walls. Mm-hmm. I remember the old uniforms of Frankie and Benny's and the way that looked with all the balloons.
Yeah. Even
Pizza Hut to an extent. Freddy Fazbear's
sure
feels like a mix of all of those things that I remember from the 90s.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I know it's got more of a like Chuck E. Cheese vibe, which we don't have in the UK.
No.
But when I think of me growing up in the 90s, this just feels like it's just a mix of all the things I loved to do.
Okay.
With my family or with my friends or going to parties.
You mean eating?
I love to eat.
Okay, great. But you like a meal and a show. Dinner and a show.
Dinner and show. It was like an event, wasn't it, really? Going out with you.
I only ever went to one McDonald's party and it was a fucking nightmare.
Why?
I don't know. I just remember not enjoying it. I don't like fake fun.
Okay.
And I've never liked fake fun. I was a bit of a boring child. So when you go to like a school disco and stuff, it's just like, well, what's the point? Or if you go to a holiday camp and he's like, right, go to the kids club, and then you put on like a fashion show or something. I'm speaking from experience here.
I'm about to say, didn't you go and do that as a job?
We all had to. I did that as a job, yes, but as a child, I thought I don't like any of this. But that didn't translate to my applying for the job because I needed work.
I need money.
So, what's the point I was making? I don't really remember the Mackey's stuff. I remember Ronald being there though to the one I went to. Mm-hmm.
But can you understand where I kind of get that idea from?
I completely get it. I think it might be different for the Americans listening. And we do get Americans listening. Hello, Americans.
Hello, the people in the US.
Yeah, it's Chuck E. Cheese for them. Straight up.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, I don't know a great deal about that because I've not been lucky enough to go there. But if we do in the future, I'm going to go there.
America or Chuck E. Cheese?
Both.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to go there.
Sure. I want to address the elephant in the room.
Where?
It's a very small room, but it's also a very small. There is a film that came out maybe 4 years before this, or maybe 2 years before this. It came out before this. It's called Willy's Wonderland.
Okay.
Now, Willy's Wonderland is the same movie as this.
Okay.
Straight up. It's the Nicolas Cage one.
I've not actually heard of that.
This is the one I was watching the other day.
Okay.
And when I wasn't very well. And you were like, what are you watching? I was like, Willy's Wonderland.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So, but he plays a security guard. He doesn't say anything in the movie. And he's just beating up these mascots that come to life.
Okay.
It's quite fun. The half I watched, I think I got bored of it.
Okay.
And then I was just like, yeah, okay. But that film and this film, even though they are doing the same thing, one of them does it better.
Yeah.
And plot twist, it's not this one.
Well, the other one was clearly that good that you fell asleep.
I didn't fall asleep. I think I just got bored. I was restless. And I was just watching stuff for the sake of watching stuff.
We've got through this twice, so...
I have got through this twice, and this time it flew by.
Do you think he was having more fun with it this time?
No, I don't think... No. I don't think it's a fun movie. And I think that's the problem.
I know what you mean. So I remember you reviewing this on Letterboxd to begin with, saying that
What did I say?
Whenever the animatronics are on,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
But when they're not, it's boring.
And it is. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry. Okay, let's talk about the animatronic. Me and you were a sucker for animatronics.
We adore it.
Anything practical, I'm there for it. Especially an animatronic. Mm-hmm. I think that's the Jurassic Park fan in me.
Yes.
Maybe. Mm-hmm. I like it. And I think the suits here... Suits? They're not suits, more puppets, I'd say. They're created by the Jim Henson Workshop, which, I mean, if you're going to do it, get those guys to do it.
Yeah, because they know what they're doing.
They're the Muppet people, just FYI. They look great. I can't get enough of those.
No, they move amazingly as well.
They really do. And I think they're quite cute.
They've got an element of cute to them, but they're also really sinister. They manage to kind of be borderline, which I really like.
I like it when puppets get mad for no reason.
Yeah, because they're really good in this, because they're quite expressive, aren't they? With their eyes and their eyebrows.
The cast.
Yeah.
Mr. Hutchinson. Mm-hmm. Peter. He's the cake guy.
He's the cake guy from the Hunger Games. I like Mr. Hutchinson. I think he's great.
In this or in general?
I like him in general.
Okay.
I think he's just a really, really sound guy.
Great. Sure.
It doesn't upset me when I watch him. He kind of puts in a very similar performance.
I think he stands up for himself a bit more in this.
No, I mean in general.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know, I feel like he's playing a certain type of character that is a little bit boring.
Yeah, he is boring.
Say his character's tortured.
Yeah.
I felt like they could have just picked which way to go with it.
Okay.
We get a little bit of solid acting in the middle of it when he's having some dream sequences.
He's doing the Scream Queen stuff quite well.
Yeah.
He's a good final girl.
Yeah, he's a great final girl.
He's no Justin Long.
No.
And I think
he's not.
Yeah, but I think if Justin Long was in this, I think this would be a cult classic. But also, it wouldn't be this movie.
Maybe not. Do you think this has been brought in to bring in maybe some Hunger Games fans?
Well, no, because the prequel to the Hunger Games didn't bring any Hunger Games fans. So I don't know.
But I mean, like, watching it for him, do you think people still remember him from those movies?
I don't think there are any Hunger Games fans.
I think there's still Hunger Games.
I don't think so.
Oh, the book's still doing good, though.
Probably. But I don't know. I never hear anyone... You know how people go on about Harry Potter? Mm-hmm. People always talk about Harry Potter. No one talks about Hunger Games, ever.
The Hunger Games is very memed, isn't it?
Is it?
I think I've seen a lot of Hunger Games memes.
He was a cake.
He was a kid. He used frosting to survive.
A fun thing we did when we watched the Oscars recently is we watched all the Hunger Games because I don't know why we did.
Oh, because it was boring, wasn't it?
The Oscars was, yes. But Hunger Games I really enjoyed. It's the first time I watched it all the way through. But since then, we've not quoted it, but it's always come into conversation that he survives purely because of cake.
Yeah. And it's come into conversation more than it probably should have done as well.
And I don't like it. Why?
But how do you feel like he's acting in this other than being a great final girl? Do you think he fits in with everything?
He does the job. He's a reliable actor. Mm-hmm. But again, I don't think it's... The script's weak.
Yeah, I think this is... Casting-wise, I think this is what's really thrown Mr. Lillard's star back into everyone's orbit.
Well, let's chat about him, because... Honestly, we could do a whole podcast about his performance in this, because... what an icon. Matthew Lillard. Shaggy's own.
Oh, he's just beautiful, isn't he?
He's a wonderful actor, and I don't think I've seen much of his work.
No, again, I think it was busy in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm. And his star fell off a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's done more like TV shows, things like that.
Well, the problem is he got roped into doing Shaggy for a long, long time after the movies.
Oh yeah, he's done all the games and everything, hasn't he, as well?
Yeah, he did all the TV shows and stuff. I don't think he does it anymore. I think he did.
I think he does the odd one, maybe.
Maybe.
He's not in Scoob, is he? That's someone else did
that. That is someone else, and it's a travesty. And I like the guy they got to do it, but it ain't.
He did give it his blessing there, didn't he? He was disappointed, but he still said good luck. And I like that about a person.
Matthew Lillard seems like a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
The problem is, I know him from two movies alone. Mm-hmm. And that's not including both Scooby-Doos. Scooby-Doo 1 and Scream. Mm-hmm. I like...
Not 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts, but only because we watched it recently, and that doesn't hold up, but he's good in that film as well.
Yeah.
Well, we could do 13 Ghosts probably next year.
I think as well, him being cast in this made a lot of us kind of 90s babies go, oh my god, it's him.
Yeah, it's Scoob. No, Shaggy. Yeah.
Oh, it's Dennis from 13 Ghosts. So that's why I went, because I always thought he was great in that.
Say what you want about those Scooby-Doo movies, but they're cast well.
Mm-hmm.
And
100%.
he's particularly good. But I like seeing him in this. He's not in it enough.
No, and I hope the second one sorts that out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to spoil...
I mean, it's already been confirmed he's cast.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I think they've confirmed 4 lots of casting for it, of him and Josh are 2 of them.
Vanessa's the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl.
The little girl, yeah.
The little girl, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I'm glad he's getting solid work in the horror genre. Because we watched a bit of behind-the-scenes stuff, and he said he wanted to get back into the horror genre.
And he belongs there. He absolutely sells it.
Who does he play in Scream? Is he one of
Is it Stu?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
You're no Sharon Stone. Yeah. Okay, sure. Apart from that, there's nothing else casting-wise that really leaps out.
No. Who's the lady who plays Vanessa?
I couldn't tell you.
She's trying really hard, but her dialogue is written like a cutscene character.
Essentially, she's there to give you exposition.
Yeah.
Which is the problem. However, she's playing Vanessa, who is quite... And again, I don't know much about it, but she's quite integral to FNAF.
Yeah, for somebody, again, who hasn't played the games, who watching it straight away at face value, who doesn't know anything about the story, I found her character irritating.
I hope they changed a few things going forward.
Yeah. She's spoken riddles too much for me.
Uh-huh.
And there's a particular scene at the end where it's like, just fucking get your words out.
She's not telling anyone all the information they need to know.
No, I mean, to be fair, she's trying to act her way through it.
Yeah.
But, I found it irritating.
Apparently the script had the blessing of the guy who created FNAF, which I don't know his name. I think it was Jack Black. He plays video games. No, but he had the blessing of all this. Mm-hmm. So, if my morals are correct, if George Lucas can do whatever he wants with Star Wars, then he can do whatever he wants with what he created. Mm-hmm. However, this film's a bit wank.
It's a bit on the boring side.
Yeah.
When we don't have the animatronics in it. I want to see him kill people.
Now, we should talk about this, because I think me and you have spoke about this before. In the car on the way home from certain movies. Mm-hmm. Blumhouse, are they a studio who put out good quality for you?
It depends, because I feel like they've had some really solid ideas, but some of them they don't really follow through with very well.
Okay.
Or they have a solid idea, like with The Purge. These films will maybe get a sequel that's quite good. Like, I think a lot of these have had good initial sequels. I think that the Conjuring 2 is pretty good.
Sure.
I think Insidious 2, etc. are all pretty good, Purge, whatever. But then they just milk this shit for as much as they can. And then you start getting pop-ups and other movies branching out, which all then follow a very boring, safe layout. You know what's coming. It's all very jump scare heavy.
Yes. I think they did Get Out and stuff.
Mm-hmm. They have done some pretty solid things.
They can do good stuff. The problem is they are doing, and this is my problem with the studio in general, they're doing stuff that they can just pump not much money into, but get a lot of money out.
Yeah, I mean, horror at the moment is really doing a bang-up job of propping up the box office.
Horror is keeping the box office alive. I tattoo it on my forehead, I don't give a shit. The problem is teenagers. That's straight up.
Teenagers, you are the problem.
I'm just saying. They will go see a horror film. It's a 15, probably like their first horror film they ever get to see.
Well, they've got disposable income. If you're going to go out on a date or you're going to go out with your friends, you go and watch a horror film. It's the same way that me and my friends used to.
I agree that we were also the problem back in the day.
Well, what was the first horror film you went to see with your friends? Do you remember?
No, because I wasn't...
You didn't have friends?
I didn't... Well, the thing is, when I was a kid, horror was stuff you did on DVD at home.
Or Blockbuster.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Going through the horror collection because you look at the posters and stuff. Mm-hmm. It wasn't really a cinema thing. My first horror film was probably Sweeney Todd, and even that, I was 18, so I could have seen. I was legal to see it.
Can you guess what mine was?
I bet yours was fucking like Darkness Falls or some shit.
Not Cinema Trip. I did watch Darkness Falls early.
Okay.
You put that back on my list. Going back on my...
Is that the Tooth Fairy one?
That's the Tooth Fairy one. I remember that really creeping me out when I was younger.
That poster for it with that scary poster in the front. Yeah.
Sam Raimi.
Boogeyman. Evil Dead? Oz? No. Oh, I get it. It was Drag Me to Hell. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I remember going to the cinema with my friends to see that and being absolutely fucking traumatised.
That's not that bad, though.
No, but I feel like, relating it to this film, I feel like this was created for people to go and see who played the games and grown up with the games. Not a lot of them, I think, that were trying to get into these screenings were 15.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of reviews. If you have a look, if you go on, say, Cineworld or Odeon's, whatever, reviews around the time this came out, there's loads of angry parents.
My child couldn't get in.
They had a photograph of their ID on their phone. Well, that's not a valid form of ID, you absolute idiot.
This is just a side note. If you don't have valid ID, if you have a photo of your ID, that doesn't count.
It's still not ID.
Get out.
So it's quite funny because you can all tell what film they've gone to see. They've either been to see tried to get into Deadpool v Wolverine, or they've tried to get in to see this.
I always liked it when I worked at the cinema that people would go, "Oh, you couldn't get into it," and then they have to buy a ticket for something else. I remember one horror film. I can't remember what it was, but I turned away so many kids, but they'd have to go and see maybe like Alvin and the Chipmunks instead, and they'd go and sit through it. But I was like, that is not the film you intended to see.
Aww. Breaking people's childhood.
I don't care. I'm not bothered. Follow the rules. That's all I'm saying.
But I feel like with this, as soon as it went out on streaming, all these people could then buy it.
Yeah.
Because you can just waive your parental controls and go, yeah, we're gonna all watch it together, or this is something I've been following game-wise, I can finally watch it. So I think when this hit streaming, I think it made a lot of money. I
think, I heard it made more on streaming anyway.
Yeah.
I think the audience were very clued in and credit to Blumhouse for doing this, because it was mid-pandemic and stuff like this, so people weren't really going back to cinemas. I think even now people still aren't, but if you're going to do it, put something out on streaming, they did it exactly the same day it was in the cinema, and I think you had to pay for it.
Yeah, you have to pay a bit of a premium, but I think as well it's expensive to go to the cinema now, so you don't want to be going to see something that is going to be absolute shit either. So you could pay the same price and buy it. Yeah,
if you can pay £15 for one ticket to go, maybe more if you've got more kids, or you can pay £15 once and watch it with your entire family.
Well, even if you're paying a premium of about £20 for a movie, if you're sitting and watching it with an entire family, it's still cheaper than tickets.
Yeah, I think it's true that I heard somewhere that it made more on streaming. I think a lot of people pre-ordered it as well because people were waiting for it.
Yeah.
It has got a cult following, and credit to them. I think this is a lot of the early YouTuber stuff as well that helps. So YouTubers like Markiplier, who I like, they would do Let's Plays of it, and and PewDiePie and stuff like that.
So how did you find the actual story of this?
It taps into the lore, I think, of what we've read, but it doesn't do it enough. And the problem is, it's doing this sort of Dream Warriors thing as well, which isn't a problem, but not in this movie.
Yeah.
Dream Warriors, just FYI, I think the best of the Nightmare on Elm Street
which
movies.
Also features a Freddy.
I'm just saying, but there's a lot going on with his. Oh, he has dreams and stuff, and he's dreaming about his brother being kidnapped, and it's like, yeah, but that's okay. But when's he going to get into the restaurant?
Yeah, to be honest, you could have cut all that shit out for me.
Yeah.
I don't think you needed it. He didn't need to have that whole backstory in order to get trapped by those ghost children.
And that's a good point. Like, if you could have cut all the scenes out of him just having dreams and stuff, literally just have him be looking after his younger sister and doing all that, and then saying, oh, he needs a job. Fine, that's it. That's enough at stake. He needs a job to look after his sister. Yeah,
they could have just had him knocked out and they could have just gone to grab the sister anyway. Or they could have had him dreaming like he's doing something, and then be like, actually it's not a dream. You're getting... You're right to get Facebooked by this mechanical bear.
But they do that though. There's one bit where he's being attacked by all these kids in the woods when he's dreaming. But he's actually...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bang on the money.
I don't know. Also, I found it... Well, I wanted it. In the game that I've seen... You don't actually see your character die because it's a first-person game. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at all these security screens, and then if you don't do it good enough, you get something pops out, and I'll start again. Mm-hmm. Fuck it. And there's no blood there. You don't see anything happening with anyone.
No.
So you've got a gap to fill.
Yeah.
For horror fans to go for just people like me and you who are just casual movie fans to then go, we need to make this interesting for those people.
Yeah.
And the problem is the film doesn't do that enough.
No, I agree. And I know people might say, oh, well, the story made that character more likeable. I feel like they could have done more. I feel like they could have done more to make that character likeable, and still we could have had more suspenseful scenes of him being chased by these creatures.
And at one point in the film, they do bring in other characters who break into the restaurant. But you can still do that. Mm-hmm. Maybe because it's a rundown restaurant. The problem with homelessness is big in America. Mm-hmm. You can have these homeless people break in who need a place to stay. Yes, it wouldn't be a very entertaining, but there'd be people for the chop, for the kill count.
It would still make sense to the story.
Absolutely. You can bog it down with lore later on. You can still have Lillard's character in there as the other character. Have Vanessa in there as the day watcher or something. Maybe it doesn't kick off in the day. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like the problem they've had with this is that you've got to try and keep fans of the game happy.
Yeah.
And you've also got to try and entertain fans that are new to it.
And
because I'm always going to say this about anything. Mm-hmm. I don't want to feel like I have to come into a film to do homework. I should just be able to watch something and enjoy it. And to be fair, I did.
Okay.
But do I feel like they could have done more with it? Yes.
That's fair. But you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah, so I can understand where we might be being a bit unfair.
However, the general consensus that I've seen anyway, or I knew of from people that we know who've seen it, have said that this film is very bloodless. Mm-hmm. There's one decent kill in this, where someone's bitten in half.
Which is linked directly to something that happens in the lore of the game.
Absolutely. The problem is that scene cuts away quite quickly. And I get that you have to market it to a 15 audience. But you can get away with stuff that is gruesome in a 15 movie.
Yeah.
And it not push the borderlines of an 18. I think they played it too safe. Mm-hmm. But I think that was the goal was to play it safe.
Yeah, because you can't, I think in the game, I think it happens by accident.
Yeah.
Another child does it to trick another, and they end up getting killed, and that shuts down the restaurant. Right. Okay. But I'm pretty sure I read again. I've had to do a little bit of reading afterwards. Okay. That the gent who created the franchise, Freddy Fazbear's, that he eventually built one of the suits that would go after kids specifically. What do you mean? That would go and target children. Oh, so not the creator of the game. No, the creator of the series in this, the Lillard character. The franchisee. Yeah. Yes. Because the idea is that you're supposed to burn the animatronics, burn the suits to release the souls of the children. Okay. Right, okay. But they're not going to want to do this in this film because they're going to want to carry it on, which is what they're doing. I have a question, and this is Terrifier related. There's a lot of stuff in the news recently about Terrifier people. They can't last 10 minutes, they're out and stuff. And the basis of the general consensus is that Terrifier kills children. Mm-hmm. Now, you're a horror fan. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's time people grew up and said kids are not off the record? Or do you not appreciate when they... It's a really hard topic because I think you're never going to want to glorify the death of children. Of course. Never. Never. But I think there's a reason why things such as It really take a grab hold of you, because it's all your childhood fears kind of brought out to light. And I feel like it could have lent into that a little bit more. Okay. I feel like with horror, kids have never been particularly safe. Yeah. Okay. And I don't feel like you have to be blood and gore or show anything horrible to do that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it should maybe have gone down the It vibe, if you know what I mean. Do you agree that these people aren't watching enough horror films to then go, oh, Terrifier's killing children, we should ban it and stuff? Because Pet Sematary, Exorcist to an extent, other films like a lot of Stephen King, The Shining. And your imagination is always going to be so much worse. Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, okay. But I mean, how many horror films have children being the aggressors? Oh, man. I mean, there's quite a lot. Children of the Corn. Children of the Corn. They're the evil ones. I mean, kids in horror movies are either really irritating usually, or they're the ones that they're causing the problems. Yeah. So I think there's a whole interesting topic around the theme of children in horror, but I feel like this could have done more. To the person who is out there probably writing a dissertation on this in their film studies thingy, good luck to you, because send us a copy. We'd like to see that. Because I think that's... I don't think they're off the books. But it's funny that you should bring up It. It was gory to an extent. Yeah.
Because straight away, a child got his arm ripped off. I'm talking about the remake. I'm not talking about the shit Tim Curry one.
I mean, it alludes to what's happening, and they describe it, but you don't see it.
Yeah, but it does enough to be... Okay, it's a 15, it's not an 18. Whereas films like The Shining, which I find bloodless, which is quite weird because there's an elevator of it. But that's an 18, and I think...
But get the images of the girls in the hallway.
Yeah, but even then, you don't see it. It's
alluded to what's happened.
Yeah. Which Terrifier does to it. I don't know. I think that's a whole different topic that I genuinely find interesting.
Yeah, I think it's something that, with what this... I say franchise, it's not franchise yet. But what this game is based on, it could have done a little bit more into getting into that. I don't know, into the nitty gritty, maybe a little bit more.
I see. The problem is, I think it's going for a bit of a B movie vibe. Mm-hmm. But then why not lean into it?
Yeah.
But again, I think they're trying to please the people who have played the games. I think there's a lot at play. I do think it's made with love.
Oh, 100%. You can tell, can't you?
Yeah, and even it's a female director. I forget her name. But she's 100% invested in making this the best movie that she can. Mm-hmm. And even the script writers are like, we have to make... It's difficult if you've got a beloved thing that you don't have to introduce to other people. So what do you cut out? What do you think doesn't work? Mm-hmm. I think they play it safe, and they walk that line of, okay, we're doing the best we can, but I'd like it to lean one way or the other.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play it safe, make it a 12. Make it a Gremlins.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like they missed out on an opportunity of making Freddy Fazbear's feel really sinister.
Yeah.
So not only about what happened to the children that went there, and as we've seen from looking at some of the game lore we've done before coming into this, there's so many characters that like children characters that happens to.
Oh yeah.
So the place should seem really sinister, even though it's coming at you as a family place. You should still get that vibe.
Yeah. But
I don't feel like it does. The fact that it's living in a nostalgic place in my head is showing that it's not.
Yeah, okay.
Because it shouldn't be.
There's a scene in it that I think does this film a lot of damage. Mm-hmm. And it's the scene where they're all building a fort with all the characters.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think that... You're supposed to be scared of these things. The problem is, we've seen them behave like children. Mm-hmm. Which, I get it, they possess like kids, but maybe have that as, at the end of the movie, as like a funny... I don't know.
But it could also be quite sad as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
To be like, at the end of all this is what they are. But when you've got the adults getting involved, and I don't know, it's... I do agree with you, though. I think it completely takes you out. Because
I remember we laughed a lot in that scene, and this isn't a comedy.
No.
So it's a bit weird that they put that in there, and then they're like, oh, actually, you should be really, really scared of these. These are the scary stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, no, because they've been building a fort for the last 10 minutes.
That's the thing. I wasn't scared of these characters.
No.
The beginning scene's I think is quite good.
I do like the ones where... I like the designs of the characters anyway. The fox in particular.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Where he stood at the end of the corridor and he's like, dum, 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 dum. And then he's like lurching forward, which they all do practically. Credit to him. But there isn't enough of that. I don't think it's a suspenseful movie. No,
and I feel like even though the characters have got to border along being spooky and being kid-friendly, because obviously that's what they were... Mm-hmm. They're in a kids' restaurant, so they had to initially be okay.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, I don't feel like they did enough to build that suspense that they needed. Because let's face it, most mascots are terrifying.
Oh, absolutely. You have to take one look at Grimace and have a heart attack.
Oh, my sister's terrified of Barney.
The purple dinosaur?
Yeah, I remember Barney trying to talk to her in Asda when she was just trying to read a magazine. And he came up behind her, she was like, oh no, and she was crying.
I like a mascot, though. They're just people. And inside, there are always people like... I had to do it at one point. And I remember being really hungover one day, and they were like, you've got to be Sammy the Snail. And I was like, put this fucking snail costume on.
I bet you stank of sweat, didn't it?
And I was just like, oh, I'm close to death. I'm just like a sauna in there. But on the outside, you're like, hey, Sammy the Snail. But on the inside, you're like, I wish I was dead.
Well, I briefly did some work for the Nottingham Panthers.
Oh, that's great.
And
that's an ice hockey team for anyone listening.
One of the gents I worked with he was the mascot. He was Paws, and he got really hot. So when he went out to just get a bit of air, and he took his head off and turned around, and there was a load of children behind him.
Uh-huh.
Who were a little bit traumatised.
Oh dear.
Because they'd all be ready to like slap his hand.
And he's
I said, put it back on. Put it back on.
Let's talk video game movies. There are quite a few of those. Mm-hmm. Famously, they don't do very well. But recently, they've been doing ever so well.
Care to name them?
Which ones? The ones that don't do well or the ones that do
Let's
well?
name the ones that don't do well first.
Your Resident Evils.
Did the first one not do particularly well, though?
Yes, but there are people who go, that's not my Resident Evil. Mm-hmm. That bit with the laser's good, but even then...
Oh, that's fucking traumatising.
Yeah. It's quite good, isn't it? What else? The Super Mario Brothers movie, the first one, the 80s one, not very good.
First Tomb Raider?
Well, but argue both Tomb Raiders.
I remember thinking the first one's Pandora's Box, is it? Or...
Don't know. Is that the one where U2 did the soundtrack for?
I don't remember. But I remember watching it from the beginning and thinking, oh, this is a bit like...
The Jolie ones?
Yeah, like, oh, this is not too bad. And then getting so fucking bored. I only watched the second one because Gerald Butler in it.
He is in it, isn't he?
And then he died.
Daniel Craig's in the first one.
Didn't do anything for me. But no, I remember liking the character, but not being that bothered.
That's fair. The good stuff, though, has been recent, and it's been quite effective. Fallout, Last of Us, Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario again. Quite well received. Minecraft's on its way. Do you think it's a good idea to take a video game and adapt it into a movie? Or do you think it works better for a TV show?
I think it depends on what your source material is.
Okay.
And what you think you can do with it.
Okay.
Because I think that with The Last of Us, that makes sense to be a TV show because of all the cutscenes and how long those games are.
I'd argue you could have made this a TV show.
You probably could have done.
Have it as a 5-part TV show. 5 nights at Freddy's, and each night...
Would they have enough footage for each night, though? Because, I mean, they don't feel like they've got enough footage for 5 nights. So.
I see where you're coming from. Yes, but I think you could have done it. That could have been a Netflix. There's a way to do it, and not bog it down with lore. Or, if you are going to bog it down with lore, you have more time with it.
To sit with it, yeah.
Yeah, which Last of Us has done.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how its cutscenes and stuff are like in that. I don't know if it has it or what it's like.
I think The Last of Us, apart from this...
Not The Last of Us, 5 Nights.
Oh, 5 Nights, okay, I see. I don't think there's any cutscenes. I think there's cutscenes in like the later games. But as for the first game, you literally just sit down on the security desk and you're like, okay. I think you get notes and stuff that like...
So this is kind of then basing it a bit more on the first game then, I'm guessing.
I'd argue so, yeah.
But again, don't get as if we're wrong.
We don't know.
But no, I think again it just depends on what it is you're adapting.
Okay, that's fair.
Because also, let's face it, some fan bases are more toxic than others as well.
I think this one's quite a good fan base. Everyone
I've spoken to about it so far have all been very, very positive about it. To be fair,
I put a message in my work chat because we're all gamers there, and a lot of the topic of conversation when this film came out was about 5 Nights. So I just wanted to go delve into that a little bit.
Yeah.
I asked, generally speaking, guys, what's wrong with the 5 Nights at Freddy's movie? And this is what people have said. This is the general consensus. Piss poor plot, and it doesn't feel scary.
Yeah.
And then I asked, does it stray from the lore? Because I thought they'd be more clued in. Something that by law should be terrifying was made to take money from children. Mm-hmm. So I think they've pandered to the audience a little bit.
Yeah.
Predictable cash grab. It doesn't go hard enough. Strays from the lore a little, doesn't match the same vibe as the games mostly. Because there's a lot of lore that is quite dark.
Yeah.
And this one, again, it does feel family friendly. And then one of them, to close it off, said Jack Black isn't in it, which is a problem.
Everybody wants Jack Black in their movies.
I think his star's fallen off a little bit after the Tenacious D stuff.
I hope not, because I like him.
Okay. Are you going to watch the Minecraft movie?
No, but my nephew might take me.
Great.
Because I don't know if his mum's going to want to watch that.
No, I want to watch that.
Oh, well, looks like we're going to watch it then.
Are there any, just a quick question to close it off, are there any video games you would like to see as a movie?
It Takes Two.
Now...
As an animated series.
As an animated series, okay.
I'm only joking. I think different.
Okay, the problem is with that is that you didn't play that game very well.
You're full of shit.
I don't know if you guys have played It Takes Two, but we had a terrible time with it.
No, we didn't. We really enjoyed it.
We had fun, but
James is mean.
Gosh, you can't jump and dash.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
There's a certain rhythm to jump, dash. And I get that the whole point of that game is that you have to be, like, patient with your partner.
Yeah, you have to do it together, but you kept fucking off without me.
The problem is...
That's your problem.
I don't understand... I can't fathom how hand-eye coordination couldn't just get it.
I did get it. I just wanted to walk around and enjoy myself.
This is the problem.
I was just enjoying being in the game. You just want to... You're typical, man. You just want to get through it as quickly as possible. You don't leave time to get all the side quests. Just take your time, James.
You argued with me about Baldur's Gate that I was taking too long on that game.
Yeah, but we know why you was taking too long on that game, don't we?
Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's. Is it better than Space Jam?
Probably say about as good as.
Really?
And that's because of the animatronics.
I think you're being kind.
No, I think the animatronics are top-notch.
Okay, but not in it enough.
They're not in it enough, but when they are in it,
okay.
I appreciate it. I just wish that they were doing more.
Are you there for a bit of an unhinged performance from Matthew Lillard?
Always.
Yeah.
He is 5 stars in this film.
So it's Lillard and the animatronics that are as good as Space Jam.
Yeah, I feel like Hutchinson, that's his name, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's very much on the fence. He's trying, but he ain't got really much to work with. Everyone else, well, crap.
Okay.
Well, again, I'm being a bit unfair to the actress playing Vanessa because I feel like she did a good job with what she'd got.
Yeah.
But her character was just irritating. Again, she's probably really, really matches with what her character's like in the game, for all I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. She's a fucking policeman. Why is she protecting and serving? She's always there. Playing with them fucking animatronics. She's supposed to be out. She's supposed to be stopping people speeding.
Why speeding?
She should be going out and solving murders that her dad has been doing. She could be sorting that shit out.
Yeah.
Harbouring a murderer. Sorry. No.
I think that's one of the questions.
I'd have just left her at the end.
Is like that one of the questions when you apply to be a policeman? It's like, is one of your parents a murderer?
Is one of your parents in particular a guy dressed as a bunny rabbit that murders children? Tick yes.
And she went, nah.
Nah, I don't remember him doing that.
Okay.
Well, all the while she's holding a picture of her dad doing that.
Yeah, it's like, love you, Dad.
I like that. Where would she just produce that picture out of nowhere?
Yeah. I imagine it's like an A4 picture as well, like his headshot. I don't think it's a very small one. Love you, father. This isn't better than Space Jam for me.
No.
I don't think it's a terrible. There's love there, but I think it's bogged down by all that dream stuff. And I forgot how much of that shit there is in there.
I did until I watched it again. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But also, shout out to the poor child that Soul had to become the cupcake.
There's there's 5 of them, right?
Yeah.
And there's Freddy, there's Foxy, there's Chica, and then there's the
Bonnie.
Yeah. But then there's one that is just a cupcake.
We don't know what that one's name is, so I'm apologising to those...
To any cupcakes out there.
The people that know what it is. I've been on Google furiously searching during the film as to which child was which.
Okay.
Maybe the costume helped with some of them.
Yeah.
But I still couldn't tell you which child was that cupcake.
But what a bum deal. Everyone else is these massive animatronics and you're just a fucking cupcake.
I mean, you can do some damage.
I'd argue he did the most damage. He bit his leg.
In your face.
Never known a cupcake to take a bite out of you. I said that while we were watching it and it was funny then and it is now.
Yeah, we all laughed. Yay.
Oh, fuck you. Okay, Five Nights at Freddy's, we've done it. We don't have to do it again until the next one, probably.
It's next year, isn't it?
I think so. We'll see it.
Yeah, we'll go and see it because it's good.
By that point, we might have played the games and we might be clued in.
Don't lie, you won't have played the games because you're too scared of them.
Called out by my wife, what the fuck is this?
The truth.
The truth. Okay, it's American Werewolf next.
Oh, what an absolute classic. We get some more great effects.
Practical effects, the way to go. Zero.
Wait, yes.
0 cupcakes in that.
Is that why you like the Terrify films then?
Oh yeah. The problem is I can go into it knowing I'm not going to be feeling nauseous or anything because I know for a fact how those films are made. It's
a bit cheap and silly, but it knows it's that.
Exactly. And I think that's the case for most films. You know, like Saw and Hostel. Well, horror films in particular. I'm just like, I know how it's done. They're not going to kill anyone, are they?
Who is this man that I married?
I'm brave now.
You used to be such a coward.
Oh, jump scares still get me though.
Oh, I know, when the sharks got you in The Little Mermaid. Twice they jump scared you, didn't they?
I'm scared of sharks, though.
Oh, but in live action Little Mermaid, though, James. Oh, no.
Shut up, it's American Werewolf next. And there's a bit in that really scares me. And
Can I have a piece of toast? Oh, my God. We saw him this year.
Ah, we were in the same room as him, weren't we?
Oh, Griffin Dunn.
Griffin Dunn. And dusted.
What a sexy man.
We'll talk about him. We'll talk about him. It's a good time. I like that movie in general, but...
we know why you like that movie in general, James. The shower scene.
Jenny Agutter's boobs.
You're watching it for Jenny, I'm watching it for Griffin.
Fine. Okay, but it's werewolf time, and that's the last of our Halloween stuff.
I know. It makes me sad. What did we do first?
Yeah, Young Frankenstein.
Oh, it seems such a long time
It
ago.
does, doesn't it? We got married since then.
Oh god, do you know what? I feel like the start of October took the fucking longest, and now it's really slowing down.
Yeah. Are you in the spooky season yet?
And we went pumpkin picking, and I'm still not in the spooky season yet. Speason.
You said season. I'm keeping it in.
Shut your mouth. Hopefully, we're going to Disneyland, guys. That'll take it away, and I'll be so spooky.
Okay, good. No werewolves there though.
Mickey doesn't allow werewolves.
Okay. Thanks for listening, guys. FNAF is better than Space Jam. It ain't. Oh no. Well, you said it was as good as.
Shut your mouth.
FNAF. So that's the noise you make when you sneeze. By the way. Ow! See you, folks.
Bye.
Bye bye.